Hey guys, Ryan Steinelson here with Accelerate Marketing. I'm the founder of Accelerate Marketing. It's an agency that's been around for about 20 years. And what we do is we help businesses to generate a direct inbound phone calls from people that want their services. And we do that through the optimization of their Google business page, and also through the optimization of their Google local service ads or Google verified. Um, we do these workshops every Wednesday at 2 p.m. and you can find us at here, either accelerateyourmarketing.com, and or you can text us at 619-304-5155. You can also go to our free school community at school.com/local lead labs. And if you have any questions, please put those in the form of a comment below the video, wherever you're watching it, either on the replay or live. Yeah, I look forward to answering any questions. If you want to join live, then please do. I had a comment that came in earlier from somebody. Let's see, Alicia, saying, I want to learn LSA and provide the service to US-based clients, but being a Pakistani, I don't have clue from where to start and how to provide this service to US-based local businesses. Okay. So we do, I've been doing this for a while, so I do have agency owners that want to learn how to offer this service that we've been offering for the past 9 years. We've been around for 20 years, but we've offered local service ads optimization for the last 9 or 10 since it's been around. And we are partners with Google. We were asked to be partners with them on the Google Local Service Ads platform because we've got a lot of people that we've helped get on the program, and because we manage a certain amount of ad spend each month, and we've got some really good, well-trained people on our team. So let me know what questions you have. Please post them below the video wherever you're watching this. And Alicia, if you want to join this workshop again, then I can answer your question. That's the best way to get any questions answered, is to do it live, really. Without that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over what I put in the description today, and then if I don't have anybody that joins, and I'm just going to wrap it up there. But since it's the start of 2026, one of the things that I really wanted to talk about today is that Google has changed the rules. They continually change the rules on how you will rank at the top of both Google Business, which is otherwise known as Maps, Google Maps, and also Google Verified. Google doesn't really care about your technical search engine optimization as much anymore. What they care about is your popularity, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So, basically, if people are not engaging or clicking your profile, or reading your reviews, or visiting your site, then really you're invisible, both to those people and to Google. And so this is really a hyper local strategy to help you show up on the map pack and the new AI overviews before your competitors even know about them. Okay. So the popularity ranking factor. So Google's official documentation now emphasizes that popularity over authority is really the name of the game. So clicks and not searches, or like search engine optimization, clicks and engagement that people have with your particular page, your Google business page, are now the most important factors, and that old school, even more important than good old backlinks. So we've got somebody that's waiting in the backstage. If you want, I can add you here to see what questions you have. So let me just add you, and I'm going to try to unmute you. It says DCL. What's DCL? Can you hear me? I'm trying to. You can unmute yourself if you want to.
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't have any questions right now. I was just listening along.
Okay. Are you in the school community?
Yes,
Okay. And do you own an agency, or are you just a business owner?
a law firm.
Okay. And do you have a Google verified page? Obviously, I'm sure you do.
I have one. I'm not running right now. I ran ads for probably about a year and a half, but I haven't run any in about 6 months. I just got too busy.
Oh,
So I was thinking about firing them back up here in a month or two.
okay. And so you're the owner of the firm, and so were the leads that you were getting, were they pretty good? And what type of a firm are you? Are you personal injury or?
Business law. The leads were okay. They weren't great. I think we had a qualified rate of about 65%. People calling in with business matters. A lot of them were calling in with things that they thought were business matters, but that actually weren't business matters.
Yeah.
So about 65% were qualified, and the matter value on them is, I'd say, probably 20-30% lower than our normal matter value through other sources. But it was still profitable enough that I got a full schedule off of it, and kept it running for a good bit until I got too busy to be taking on those. It was just a bit more low ticket than I ideally would be looking for. But when I'm not super busy, it's always nice to have some new stuff in the pipeline.
That's good, and that's really, I mean, you really summarized it well. I mean, you speak from experience, which is great. That and this is what I try to share with business owners. I mean, a lot of, not, I would say blue collar businesses, not white collar businesses. They haven't tried in some verticals. They haven't tried Google verified or Google local service ads yet, and I think you summarized it really well. I mean, it's a great lead generation strategy to really fill your calendar. And once you do that, and it is profitable. I mean, you're not going to lose money. Right? I mean, running it. I mean, you're probably maybe you're converting fewer, and for whatever reason, it sounds like the value of the cases are not as high as other lead sources. But were you having any? I'm just curious. So how are you? One of the other things that we do is, and what I was just talking about, I don't know if you caught it, but Google's really paying attention a lot more to people's engagement with both your Google business page and also your Google verified page. And one thing that does help you, and I will tell you this, that we found, if you want to get better qualified leads, look in your back office for your local service ads and see the percentage of time that you show up in the absolute top percentage, or the absolute in the absolute top position. If that percentage of time that you're showing up in as the absolute top ranking is more than, I'd say, you're really shooting for like more than 60 to 70%. And here's the reason why. Specifically for your situation, because I've heard this many times, business owners that are getting lower quality leads, what's happening is the percentage of time that they're showing up as the absolute top listing is usually like less than 60, maybe down to 50 or 40 or 30%. What's happening is people are searching business attorney near me, or business attorney, Palm Beach or West Palm, whatever. And what people's natural inclination is they call the top one first. And then what happens is, if that first business turns them down, then they'll go to the second. And so what happens is that person is automatically already been filtered if they call you next, because they've been turned down by 1, 2, or 3 other businesses by the time they get to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I would shoot for greater than 70%, and you will see the quality of leads significantly improve. And the way that you do that, which will probably be your next question, is, and and I've talked to thousands of businesses, and I know that every business thinks that they answer the phone every single time, and you probably got a great secretary and everything, but I'm just going to suggest to you that you there's somebody else that just is backstage. I'm going to add them in a second, but I would go into your back office as well and look, if you can, at the percentage of calls that are connected. Because I'll bet you that the connected calls, which tells you the percentage of calls that are actually answered in less than 30 seconds, is probably, I'll bet it's less than 90%, maybe even 80%, possibly 70%. If you improve that, and I would suggest that you use something like an AI assistant or something, because that's really one of the only ways to actually get to close to 100% that's the best way I found. Whether that's through us or somebody else, I would recommend that you consider that, because Google will rank you top based on three things: it's reviews, radius, response rate. So if you answer all your calls in 30 seconds and respond to all those message leads, I would also turn on message as well. And if you're not 24/7, I would turn on 24/7 once you actually have a digital assistant helping you to answer the phone. And I would give your intake, whoever that is, the first 10 seconds, and then give the AI the last 20 seconds to answer it. So that, again, all those calls are answered, but you give your intake the first shot at it.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And we do a nice job. We've for most of the time that I was using the LSA, we were 90% plus on the very top recommendation. So we were showing up very first. And all calls, well, not all, but I'd say probably 98% of calls are answered within 30 seconds. I've got a dedicated intaker that's really his primary job, is just to sit around and answer the phone. So he will miss one every now and then, but it's super rare, and we have an AI backup for if he does miss it. So we're good on that. I think I think the lead quality being a little lower than what we get is just normally the other lead sources that we've got are referrals, either from referral partners like CPAs or other professionals, other lawyers, speaking engagements, things like that. And so all of those tend to be they tend to be more of the right target audience. I guess to clarify a little bit as well is our firm, we don't touch on a lot of low ticket stuff. It's more high ticket. And so, there would be a lot of folks calling in through the LSA that, they've got maybe like a $5,000 business debt that they need collected. And it just doesn't it makes sense to hire us to do something like that. So we would consider that person not qualified. And we get a lot of calls like that, $5,000, $10,000 business debt collection cases that it just, with our fees, it just doesn't make sense to hire us to do something like that.
Yeah. No, I get it. So you're looking for the higher end clients, and that's great that it sounds like you were at around 90% at the absolute top percentage rate. I mean, you're at 90% of the time you were showing up as absolute top, correct?
Yeah. And for probably the first, like 4 or 5 months, we were 100% at the top. And then after that, we started seeing a little bit. I don't know if maybe more people in the market started running LSAs, and also because we're high ticket, low volume. It's hard for us to collect a lot of reviews. So if we get maybe 1 or 2 reviews a month, we're really good. And I know they like more reviews than that. We just don't serve enough people to be able to get that many.
Okay, yeah, I would. Yeah, if you're not serving that, if you can get one review a week, that's about what we've seen is what is kind of the sweet spot for most businesses. I'd say probably 80% of businesses, unless you're a plumber and your competitor and you have 2,000 reviews neck and neck, then
Right.
But that's really good. I mean, you're on it. I mean, so the only other thing that I'm gonna bring up here is, are you? And thanks for having this commentary back and forth, because it's good. I mean, these are questions that a lot of people have, and to hear a real life situation or a real case study is great for people to hear, I think. So one other question: do you are you filling out your surveys? Are you actually giving Google feedback on the leads that you're getting from Google Verified?
Yes, yeah, we make sure that we fill out all of the surveys and the feedback forms for everybody that calls in. We try to do it within about 30 minutes of the call,
Good.
so that we can always provide feedback really quickly. And I think it's just one of those things. It's a different client avatar, I guess, is calling in from the LSAs than maybe not our perfectly ideal client, but like I said, it's nice when we're not quite so busy to be able to fill up the schedule with those.
Yeah, that's great. What was your first name, by the way? You mind asking?
Dustin.
Dustin. Yeah, I mean, really good. I mean, where'd you learn all this from? Is it are you stalking me on YouTube or what? I mean, you really know your stuff.
I watched your YouTube videos a few years ago before I started LSA the first time, and
Okay.
I haven't investigated or gotten up to speed on it in the last maybe 6 months, maybe even a little longer, 8 months since I stopped running the ads. And I know that the stuff changes quite quickly.
Mhm.
And so I said, before I start running the ads, man, I don't want to waste any money. I need to start studying up on this again.
Well, good. You came to the right place. The you know just to give you an insight, we're running a study that we found that where we found that with a pretty like 16 different clients, probably 350 total leads per month. So not a huge, end value, but or R value. But what we're finding is that yes, indeed, when we fill out the surveys, that you do tend to get better leads over time. You get better leads, and so that's just something. It's good that you're doing that. You're really, you're using the system the way that Google wants you to. Google wants to first and foremost create a great experience for people that are calling businesses that find them on their platform, and so that starts with every call being answered within 30 seconds. It's amazing that you've got an AI backup. I mean, like most businesses are not doing this. I mean, I talk to a lot of service-based businesses, and 80% of them don't even know what AI is. I play them an AI, and they're like, it's like they've seen fire for the first time. It's like they're just blown away, and so it's really good and that you're using an AI backup for your intake person there, because that's the perfect way to do it. If anybody's listening to this, seriously, the way, most, I'd say 95 to probably 90 to 95% of businesses are not filling out the surveys. Google says right in their terms of service, like, fill out the surveys. It tells us what the lead quality is that we're sending you, and lets us know if we're sending you good leads or not. And over time, Google will actually, they will change what keywords that you show up for on local service ads, and so you'll get better leads. You know. So
Yeah,
it's a
that's
good,
great.
yeah. So that's a good thing that that you're doing all that. I'm just trying to think of anything else that you could. Do you have your business open 24/7 with the AI backup, so the AI answers the phones after hours?
I don't. I've considered it. I always have been a little bit reluctant to do that, um, just because I'm worried that the lead quality will be lower. If if the lead quality or the matter value gets much lower, it would make it to where I think it's probably not worth it to run the ads.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I haven't tried to set it up recently, but if I could do like a smaller sample, like a smaller budget sample, of the after hours, that would be something that I would be interested in trying out probably. But I've always been afraid, well, hey, I'm targeting business owners
Yeah.
and they're not calling during business hours. I don't know what the quality of those leads is going to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. Well, you might just want to, you can go in there, change your settings for, maybe a week or two, and it's not really, that's not something that would really screw up your ads too much to where now if you mess with your budget, I would say don't do it. I mean, and actually, by the way, if you are pausing your campaign, Dustin, I would suggest against that. I would instead just reduce the budget down to like a very low amount, minimal, instead of turning it off or pausing it completely.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense too. I didn't know exactly the best course of action for that. I just knew that my schedule was full, and I was like, man, I can't really handle a whole lot more right now.
Yeah. No, totally. I mean, just something to keep in mind because that definitely will. I've seen accounts. I mean, we've handled thousands, of accounts over the past 10 years since Google Local Service had started or Google Verified. And man, there's been a lot of changes. And one of the things that we have seen is that, yes, I mean, we've seen some accounts that pause their budget just to, take a weekend off, and they turn it back on again, and the lead volume just goes to nothing, so just keep that in mind. That's something to think about. So yeah, I would turn on the 24/7 for like a week or two, and see what that, see what kind of calls you get after hours. I mean, you know all the calls. You can listen to all the calls. You can see what kind of calls you're getting, after 12 o'clock at night. you know.
Right. I have some clients that are good clients that they're up working at that time. So it's possible that they're calling at that time. I just always have been a little bit hesitant. So man, I don't want to just throw a bunch of money down the drain. But there are some people I know that work that time of day.
No, totally. The only other thing I was thinking of is, do you have an AI chat agent on your site as well, to have a chat conversation that is powered by the same AI agent that you have that's doing the voice?
I don't. I use Go High Level for my CRM, so that is an option that I could build in, but I haven't implemented that one yet.
I would do that. It definitely, I don't know if theirs keeps the conversation continuity across all um, communication forms like chat, email, voice, text. The AI agent that we built does do that. So just keep that in mind. Also, just keep in mind long term, Dustin, that these AI agents, one of the things that people aren't thinking about is, can you take the conversations with you? Because really, the value of the AI agent is training it over time. And so, just like a good CRM will allow you to export your leads when if you ever want to leave, the same thing applies with an AI agent. So that's something that I would just be aware of, because you're training the agent. It's kind of like a Google Ads account becoming better over time. It learns, and so that's one of the things that I would just be cognizant of. And what else? Um, yeah, I mean, I think that the 24/7 thing. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, if there's anything.
that's interesting. Does your AI agent have access to the schedule? So, I know a lot of AI agents, they just kind of they take down information, but mine, it'll take down information for a callback, but it can't touch my schedule directly.
Yeah, so we have a direct integration with Go High Level, and also with Service Titan, and pretty much most of the major CRMs. And what you can do, number one, is you can actually have the agent in real time actually go in and look at your schedule and communicate via voice the times available, like a human would. Just basically look at the schedule, say, Dustin's available at 4 o'clock on Thursday and 5 o'clock, or 3 o'clock on Friday. Do you want either of those times? And then the person says, okay, I'll take 3 o'clock on Thursday, whatever. And then it'll book the appointment, through that integration. That's one way to do it. We found a way that sometimes even works better, is just to have the AI agent, to, while it's having a voice conversation, if somebody says they want to schedule an appointment, to have the agent actually text a link to your calendar, so the person can actually schedule the appointment right there on their phone. Sometimes that's a little bit easier way to do it. And then the agent just stays on the phone and says, hey, did you get the link? Do you have any questions about available times? That's another way to do it.
Yeah,
Um,
perfect.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I've tried the Go High Level AI agent that can do the scheduling, and I've also tried to. I'm pretty tech savvy. I've tried to build one out myself using some other tools, and I can make one that is really high quality, because I feel like the voice agents on Go High Level are not that high quality.
Yeah.
They're good because they are fast and they can touch your schedule,
Yep.
but the voice quality is bad. But then other services have really good voice quality, but they can't touch your schedule. So it's really difficult to get it all patched
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, and that's why, having working with one that's, there's a lot. Well, it's really the difference between having a chat bot and a chat agent, because really what we want is these chat bots to be able to do stuff, to do things that will make our lives easier. So it's really in that conversion of, okay, now we've had the conversation. What can it do? Can it schedule an appointment? Can it tag a person a certain way and then, have automation kicked off after that? Those are some of the things that, it's, and that's the reason why I really started with the conversational AI agent in the beginning 2 years ago, was because I wanted to be in the beginning of the conversation. So, because everything else happens after that anyway, we could try to automate all the other stuff after that, signing the case. I mean, there's agents that are now signing cases and stuff like that for, for attorneys, but, yours is, a little bit more, more detailed. It sounds like the cases that you're signing up, obviously, with businesses. But what else? Yeah, I think that it's good. I mean, I think they've got 3 ways to train their agent. It's knowledge, prompt, knowledge base, and do they have reinforcement learning for Go High Level as well, or
I
no?
don't know that they do. It's been a few months since I tinkered with theirs, but
Okay.
they do have the first two that you mentioned, and
Okay.
I think their agents were really good. Just that they didn't sound very said the just the voice quality, the sound and the intonation and everything that I didn't really care for. But I felt like they were really good at everything else with
Yeah.
the prompting, the knowledge base, the ability to move quickly. Some of them are very laggy.
Yeah.
The ability to put people on your schedule. I felt like all that worked really well.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah. I think they've done a good job for the, they're really, they got to make it easy for everybody, because they've got a third person that's actually creating the agents, these agencies that are actually, out there. So, that's got to be pretty challenging. But, yeah. Have you? I don't know if you've heard the new Google's voice. It's unbelievable. They use Vertex AI, but their new voices are like from Gemini 3 are pretty amazing. We promised for almost a year and a half now that they'd be, indistinguishable from humans, and these are, they definitely, this is the first that I've heard that are like, you really can't tell the difference.
Yeah,
So
they're really great. I mean, there's so many really great tools out there, and I feel like out of the box they all do something really well, and then just sort of patching them together or implementing the best ones, and it's
yeah.
just it's the landscape is constantly changing as to which ones are the best and how to implement and what they can do and what they can interact with. But there's a lot of really fantastic stuff coming up.
Yeah. Well, let us know if you got any other questions. The only other thing, for you, it sounds like you've got Google verified, with all the things that we talked about, obviously, creating posts for your Google business page. That is something that's becoming more important, updating your Q&A, on your Google business page, and creating an FAQ page like on your website. The time on site for your website does go up. That's the other reason why I suggested the chat bot on your site, is because the time on site does go up when people start engaging with that chat agent and they can get a lot of their, and you've probably got some white papers out there. You've probably got some speaking engagements that you've done. I would just upload those, the transcriptions of those, and use that as a knowledge base, and that way there's no hallucinations. It's literally the agent is just trained on your knowledge, and that way it's not going to go off the rails when somebody goes to your website, and it's going to answer the questions the way that you would answer them, from those presentations that you made, that you uploaded as the knowledge base. So that's what I think that would really keep people on your site, and your time on site would go up, and that would significantly increase your rankings for your Google business page and your website in general as well, locally.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. Thank you. That's a great idea. And I did notice that not necessarily time on site, but just, calls from the website in general. Also, they went up quite a lot when I was running the local service ads. I was just getting a lot of additional traffic calls to my main line instead of my LSA specific line.
Oh wow, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I mean that will happen, and yeah, I really appreciate you being on. I want to see if Maria's on as well. You can stay on, Dustin. If you have any questions, you can. I mean, just jump right in. You can post comments, and I'll get those. You can also put them in the private chat as well, and I'll answer those directly if you want. But thanks for jumping on. I do these every week at the same time. So and also just if you have any questions, you can post them in the school community as well.
Yeah, excellent. I really appreciate it. I do have one more question, but I'll let somebody else chat, Maria, and make sure that everybody else gets some time as well.
Oh yeah, well let's see if Maria is if she's muted. Maria, you there? Yeah, sometimes people. Yeah, you can ask your question, Dustin, because yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So the thing that I was considering this time around, I hadn't quite figured out what to do, but basically what I'm looking at is um, I do all sorts of business law. So I do business transactions, business formations, and business litigation,
Mhm.
basically. Um, my office is in Houston, Texas, and I practice all over the state for the business formations and the transaction stuff that I don't have to be physically in person for.
Mhm.
But the litigation stuff, the business disputes, I really try to stay in Houston and in Austin.
Yeah.
And so, I'd like to be able to just open my LSA up statewide, but I can't handle the litigation leads statewide. And I don't really have referral partners outside of the major metro areas to be able to refer those things to or get assistance with, like co-counsel with. So I haven't quite figured out what to do as far as, limiting the out of town litigation leads while opening it up to the transactional stuff.
Good question. Yeah, so you want the transactional stuff and not the litigation stuff outside of your, general local area there, um, which is understandable, correct? That's what you were saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just being in the car or on a plane to go to somewhere all the way across the state. If I lived in a smaller state, it'd be fine. But in
Yeah.
Texas, it's
No,
a little
big.
difficult.
Yeah, that's challenging. So, yeah, I mean, and I'd have to look at your job types for business law. I wish or if you're able to pull them up, we could run through them really quick and see if there any that are can you separate out the transaction job types versus the litigation?
You can. They are separate job types. It's just I haven't figured out how to. Maybe you have to set up a different profile or something. But
Yeah.
you can separate those out into two different job types. That would work. But I haven't found a way to say, hey, I want this statewide and this locally.
Yeah. So what you might want to do is, because this is actually something that's really interesting. So I was talking to some colleagues about this morning, that also do manage local service ads for businesses nationwide. And one of the things that we've seen, which is very interesting, is that I don't know the name of your practice, but what you could do is if you put something in the name of your business that's more that I yes to answer your question, you're right on. I would create um another business, and specifically for the transactions, name it with transactions in the name, like actually the job types that you're looking to target in the name, because that will do two things. Number one, when you show up with other business law attorneys, people will see that you're a transaction attorney in those areas, and they'll call you based on that. The other thing that we found is that Google actually will consider the name of your business in terms of the type of leads that it sends you, believe it or not. Even
Interesting.
even with your job type selected as non-transactional, or transactional. You could, in other words, you could choose non-transactional, but if you've got a transactional name, they'll send you transactional leads more often than not.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yep. So, and we didn't really know that until we just saw it. we're like, what is going on here? And this is actually for, you know, of all verticals, it's for pest control and bed bugs. So we saw a similar thing. So, you know, this company that was looking for bed bug leads, they wanted those type of leads, but they didn't have the word bed bug in their name. And even though they specifically went under the job category of bed bug, they were not getting those bed bug leads because of that. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah, so we've seen that with pool contractors, same thing. I mean, all across the board. So just something to consider. I mean, it doesn't cost much to set up another, you know, and you're a business attorney, for God's, I mean, you can do it for, you know, for free. Yeah. I don't need to tell you this. So, so just set up a business, you know, a separate business, and I would make sure it's a different suite number. You know, you could use the same address, different suite, different entrance. You know, that's what I would do.
Cool. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So hope that helps. Yeah, that definitely is a good question. And yeah, that way you know, I mean, and what are the job types what are the names of the job types that you would want or that are transactional?
Let me see if I can get it pulled up in my account, or at least find the job type list real quick.
I'm curious. Yeah, for anybody watching, if you have any questions, you can go to our school community, which is where, you know, Dustin's in the community, school.com/local lead labs. Oh, and I think Dustin just clicked the wrong button there. And then you can also text us at 619-304-5155, 619-304-5155. And yeah, let us know what questions you have. I'm going to wait a little bit for Dustin here. And and hopefully he'll jump back in here in 1 second. There we go. Okay, yeah, you got disconnected. Click the wrong button.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yep. Did you find those job types or?
Not yet. I just got loaded back in the call. Let me
Okay. Yeah, and like I said, while he's looking that up, you guys can join any Wednesday at 2 p.m. Any comments that you have or questions, you can post them below the video on the recording as well, and I'll answer those. And you know, like I said, you can text us at 619-304-5155. You can test out our AI agent and see how that works by just texting us there. You'll see how that works. And then you can go to our website at accelerateyourmarketing.com. And yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of anything else that, the final thing I was going to, while you're looking that up, final thing that I was looking to talk about is, let's see, hyper local targeting micro neighborhoods. Let's see. Oh, that was an older topic. Let me see. The final thing, topic 3 was LSA automated credit trap. Google has replaced manual local service ad disputes with automated disputes. If your service area and job types aren't surgical, this is kind of a good time to talk about it. You're paying for garbage leads with zero recourse. So make those job types like we're talking about right now with Dustin, and those service areas really specific. And we've actually created a tool to identify all the cities, counties, and zip codes in the area that you're looking to target as well. Even though Google says don't put the zip codes in, we've shown that if you don't put the zip codes in, you show up less for those zip codes when people search for by zip code. So something to keep in mind. Let's see. How's it going with finding the?
Yeah, I got them.
Okay.
So on the business law job types, there's business law and contract law. Contract law is pretty much everything, but business law, there's a few things that I don't do. So for business law, what we've got is business litigation, which obviously, we would try to keep that local. And then there's business transactions, commercial contracts, incorporation and restructuring, business licenses and permits, mergers and acquisitions, and partnership agreements. And all those would be statewide. And then there's shareholder disputes. That falls under litigation. I'm not sure why they have a separate category for that, but that one, it would be just local for shareholder disputes. And then under contract law, it's all statewide, pretty much. There's really not anything under contract law that would require us to be, in person somewhere, and we could serve that for the whole state.
Cool. That might be what, part of what you put in there is contract law attorney or something like that, yeah, that would help. And then you could just go and just make sure you identify all those cities, counties and zip codes, outside of that immediate service area. And yeah, that might work. Have you seen how much competition is there? Have you done a search to see if there's anybody else running ads for that?
I have not. So I've done a search just locally in the local market, say who's in Houston, and I also checked Austin. I'm probably going to be opening up just a virtual office in Austin as well. And so I checked Austin and Houston for contract law, but that's it.
Okay, contract attorney. Okay, so here we go. Melancon Legal. So these are contract lawyers. There's only 2 of them. Not much competition.
Yeah. Austin's it's grown a lot, but it's still pretty small in comparison to, say, Houston or the DFW metro.
Okay, so there's none in San Antonio. Are you able to see my screen?
I am, yes.
Oh, let's see. DALAS. None in Dallas. Wow. There's a few in Fort Worth. Yeah. So that might be interesting, like for you to do, there's not much competition. So that might be worth it for you to do that.
Yeah, maybe just the way to go there. Exactly.
Yeah. Try it. Let us, give us an update. Let me know how that works. And if it does, give us a review.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely, man.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, all right. I think I'm going to wrap it up. And if you have any other questions, Dustin, feel free to, contact us or contact me in school. We've got some people that are monitoring the school community as well that are, Roxanne is really good and the team. So, and then obviously you can just, contact us directly on the phone number there. But thanks for joining today. And, hopefully we'll see you on here again.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
All right. Talk soon.
See ya.
Bye.